Hey guys, and welcome to the Chaotic Gardener. We are now in the middle of winter, back to school is cool and all the rest of that. The garden is extremely dry at the moment. Well, definitely here at my house, because we don't have irrigation systems keeping the grass lovely and lush. So in winter the grass dies back, and we tend to have quite a variety of different grasses growing here. I don't know how to describe it, but not so nice grass that grows during the summer months and it kind of dies off during winter, and so everything is looking quite dry. And then on top of that, as I have complained over the last two videos, the dog is keeping herself entertained during the days when we are at work digging holes. So I have a substantial amount of filling in holes to do, and then I want to do a nice big soaking. Also, my garden is a chaotic garden because during the week things happen to it that I don't necessarily have time to control and fix. So I'm going to go around and show you today some of those things that have happened. And it's not normally this bad, but with the new puppy, she's definitely getting entertainment from my garden, and yeah, it's fun. It's interesting anyway. And I've realized over the years that you've got to have a sense of humor when you're dealing with life. And I was just thinking about the chaos that I am seeing when I drive up my driveway. And it's not how I would like it to be, obviously. I am a fan of things being ordered and structured and looking good. But you don't always have the ability to make that happen all the time. So when things like this happen, and it is disastrous and it looks awful, you have a choice to make. You can either let it completely freak you out and devastate you, or you can take a deep breath and go, when I have the time, I'm going to deal with that. And you do. And that's kind of where I am. I think so often, and particularly with social media at the moment, we go through life putting all these huge pressures on ourselves to be a specific way and to portray life as being absolutely perfect all the time. She keeps digging this boxwood out, so I'm going to pot it up in a pot plant. And the reality is, you don't always have the ability to maintain that perfection, and personally I think it is quite exhausting to have to maintain that perfection. So some people are just naturally inclined to be that way, where everything is in its place and perfect at all times, and they have to have that or they cannot function themselves in life. But she dug these up earlier on in the week. Sometimes having to maintain that, there's the culprit, that sense of perfection is more exhausting and challenging than actually learning to let it go sometimes. So I know, like when my children were young, there was a huge craze to have the picture perfect parties, and I'm sure there still are. And all the matching labels in each sweetie jar. See, these are all the things that Venus has dug up over the week. And to make sure that everything matched and you had a theme and all the things were related. And I did that for one or two parties, and then I actually just got over having birthday parties. And for me, it became more of a concern that I was spending more time worrying about the party looking beautiful from an outsider's perspective than the children actually just enjoying and having fun. And the reality is that when the children all got to the party, they didn't care about the decor and what things looked like. They just wanted to jump on the jumping castles and have fun. So here is where she's dug up one of the plants from, and that is when I realized that we actually need to take a step back in life and just breathe and do things for the right reason. This is Storm. She is a good old lady. She's just beautiful, gentle and calm. Venus is eating a pepper. I don't know where she got it from. She's actually picked it off the bush. I didn't see this pepper. She is a beautiful girl, but she is hard work at the moment. Hey Venus. Venus. Nope. So I am going to start by filling up these holes with the soil that has been displaced. But we all tend to probably experience, and I know that I have in the past, that once you have dug up a hole, the soil that is around it never seems to quite fill it up completely again. Look at this. This is what my life exists with at the moment. See, she just pulls things out of the ground. No. Now we have to replant that. I don't understand this dog. And she does have toys, and she gets those Kongs with things inside that keep her entertained for ages, but then she just finds other things to entertain herself with. Alright, so back to the hole, and we'll replant that pepper plant just now. I'm going to use the soil that has been displaced here to it's just, if I don't laugh I will cry. She just, I don't know. So I will put the soil back into the hole, and we will obviously have to probably get more soil to top up as that compacts down again. So let's go and let's hope that Venus, that stick keeps her entertained for a while. Based on what you've just seen now, a new type of irrigation system is required in this garden, because if Venus sees a stick sticking out of the ground, she is going to obviously pull it out and eat it and think it's one of her toys. So that's not going to work anymore.
a very dusty place and stuff. But the more she digs, the more I think, how am I going to solve this problem? I'm just going to start planting perennial bushes everywhere and extend the size of our garden beds. Just keep going. Right, so I've used all the soil that was available. We still have a huge shade hole here and obviously some places along here. And this is why we have such a variety of grasses here as well, because this section used to be a trampoline that we filled in, a trampoline hole that we filled in.
I'm gonna extend my little fencing system and I'm gonna give this a good soak in to prevent the dust at least and hope for the best. Plant this. The little one, put it on a pizza. Hi guys, it is the next day and I did continue gardening yesterday and cleaning up the mess that I had made as well as what Venus had made, but she then decided to eat the broom while I was sweeping and just jump on me while I was trying to do a few bits and bobs. So I got a bit frustrated and gave up for the rest of the afternoon. Obviously, for those who are wondering and thinking to themselves, why don't you take it to training? We have had dogs before and we have done basic training. We did go to puppy school with them, so we do kind of know the basics on training, and we are doing that with Venus, and we do take her for walks. In fact, we've taken her for a walk this morning. She was a little bit skittish, so we just did a short walk with her. So we do things like that with her, but obviously she is a puppy, still teething and going through those moments where when we aren't around she is bored, and so she finds ways to entertain herself clearly. Also sniffing this time of year. I remember with our other dogs that the moles tend to irritate them under the ground and they go in search hunting for those, and that is generally why the garden gets dug up every winter. So we have dealt with that before. And Venus is a lovely dog. She is a beautiful puppy and very, very loving and just wants to be in our space, in our faces, on our laps all the time. So she is a very social pup, and wow, as I mentioned, I try not to get overly stressed about the perfection of everything around me, because I'm just not that kind of a person. Accept me the way I am, like it or lump it, and I do what I do for my own joy and not for the picture perfect image that can be portrayed on social media or anywhere else for that moment. My garden is my garden, and sometimes it looks beautiful and sometimes it is life. As life, sometimes everything goes perfectly and sometimes it doesn't. That is how I am. So thank you for spending the time with me yesterday in the garden as I cleaned up a little bit. Good start to this week coming up. Things are looking in order, and I do have a little bit of extra help in the garden today, which is even better, and that was a lovely surprise. So if you don't follow along and you would like to continue following along, come back next week. We have a project. We're repurposing a bed zhuzhing it up a little bit. So join me next week, and until then I hope you have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.